Have you ever wondered what happens after a young prince wins everything? Most fantasy stories end with the hero taking the throne. But King of Thorns by Mark Lawrence begins where most stories stop, and that's exactly what makes this audiobook unforgettable. Jorg Ancrath is no longer just a ruthless prince. He's now a young king surrounded by enemies who want his kingdom, his crown, and his life. Every decision he makes could save his people or destroy everything he's fought for. The battlefield isn't just filled with swords and armies. It's filled with betrayal, secrets, politics, and impossible choices. What makes this story so addictive is that Jorg isn't a perfect hero. He's intelligent, ruthless, damaged, and incredibly unpredictable. You may not always agree with him, but you won't be able to stop listening. Every chapter reveals another layer of his past while pushing him closer to an epic confrontation that feels bigger than anything in the first book. Mark Lawrence creates a dark fantasy world that feels both brutal and beautiful. Ancient mysteries, forgotten technology, terrifying enemies, and unforgettable characters combine to create a story that's impossible to predict. Just when you think you know where the plot is going, everything changes. Now imagine experiencing all of that through an audiobook. The narrator brings every battle, every tense conversation, and every emotional moment to life. Instead of simply reading the pages, you'll feel like you're standing beside Jorg as kingdoms rise and fall around him. Whether you're driving, working out, commuting, or relaxing at home, the story pulls you into its world from the very first chapter. One of the greatest strengths of King of Thorns is how it balances action with deep psychological storytelling. It's not only about winning wars, it's about power, leadership, revenge, sacrifice, and the cost of becoming the person history remembers. Few fantasy novels explore these themes with the same intensity. If you're a fan of dark fantasy like The First Law, A Song of Ice and Fire, or morally complex characters who constantly challenge your expectations, this audiobook deserves a place at the top of your listening list. It's intense, emotional, thought-provoking, and packed with moments you'll remember long after the final chapter. And if you've already listened to Prince of Thorns, this sequel raises the stakes in every possible way. Bigger battles, smarter twists, higher risks, more unforgettable moments. This isn't simply another fantasy adventure. It's a story about ambition, survival, and the price of wearing a crown when the entire world wants to see you fall. If you don't want to miss one of modern fantasy's most compelling audiobook experiences, check the link in the description and start your free audiobook trial today. Once you press play, you'll understand why so many fantasy fans consider Mark Lawrence's Broken Empire trilogy one of the genre's most unforgettable journeys.